All right, guys, man, we have made it. Hunter Hunter. We're finally talking about it on this podcast. And dude, I cannot stress this enough. This is by far one of my favorite animes out there. I truly love this show. My buddy George recommended me this a while back. I think it was like 4 years ago at this point. And man, I've just been in love. This is my third time watching it. I rewatched it for the podcast right here. And I can honestly say that it is my favorite. Everything about it. Main character Gon, such a sweet kid, such a well-driven kid, very stubborn, but very strong character and super just nice. He's a genuine character. I just love how he acts. I love that his character is this way, and the fact that he's very likable. Just everything about him. You know, he doesn't give up. He refuses to accept that people are bad. No, he takes everybody with a grain of salt. And honestly, I just like him. He's just a really good guy. I really enjoy watching him. I love every time when he's on screen. Just a good character, good kid, and go overall just really strong character. Killua as well. Killua honestly is one of my favorite characters in the show. I think his character arc is really cool. He kind of was like this lonely kind of assassin kid who befriended Gon and wasn't really like open to be liked by other people, who didn't really care. But now he has a friend, and he's never had a friend before. And so he has this companion that he has with Gon. And it's just beautiful to see like these kids kind of grow up in the span. I think it's like almost like a year or two in the show. And yeah, man, it's just a great relationship that they have, a really good bond of friendship that those two have. Kurapika as well. I wish we got to see him more throughout the show, but honestly, we were introduced to this really interesting character, very driven person, who had a horrible, tragic incident happen to his tribe and his clan, and is just seeking out retribution, seeking out revenge. And once he gets that revenge, it's kind of like, all right, what do I need to do next? What do I got to do? Leorio is cool as well. We're introduced to him in the beginning as well. Kind of this gang almost in the first couple episodes. And I like him as well. He's really funny. He has a tormented, not really a tormented past, but his past has been definitely scarred, and he's working towards helping others. He's really in it for the money, but also he's a good guy. He's a good character. He's really like, a parent to Gon and Killua, and also Kurapika in a sense, and just a really good companion, really interesting, really funny character. I love this show. It follows them as they go through along and enter in this hunter exam where they try to get this license called the hunter's license. And with this hunter's license, it pretty much allows them to, go throughout the world, either being super rich or just being skillful in whatever type of hunter theme you want to be. You're either a cooking hunter, or a hunter of collecting fine arts, or a martial artist, or even a doctor as well. You can be whatever type of person. It just kind of gives you a leg up in this type of their society, right? We're later introduced to Nen, which is kind of like a power ranking. I was expecting this to happen kind of middle of the way throughout the show, my first viewing. And yes, there's a type of power ranking, and like, different types of Nen readings, energy, aura, all that type of stuff. And it's interesting. It kind of like plays on the fact of like Gi almost, or G really, like within Buddhist teachings, how energy flows throughout the body. And it's similar to Gi, similar to what's the other one? Life energy. It's similar to Gi. It's similar to like life energy. It's similar to Gi. It's similar to life energy as well, and all types of magic, kind of life source energy, like all that type of stuff that is from what's it called? Animes. You can kind of get this like energy reading from different people. And this one does a really good job at it. It really explains it really well, and it breaks it down in the simplest of terms. There's different types: Nen, Ren, Gen, Hyatsu, all different types of Nen, that abilities that these people have. and it's another part of the Hunter exam. And so at some point, Gon and Killua doesn't pass the Hunter exam, but Gon does, and he passes the second Hunter exam, which is finding out about Nen. So yeah, and every arc in this show is just really interesting. I have nothing bad to say about it except for the fact that it kind of loses track of what it's trying to do at sometimes. Like there's this main storyline of Gon trying to find his father, but he's sidetracked. This is where there's all these arcs come into play, but we don't get much of Leorio or Kurapika in a lot of these arcs. I think in the second to last one and the third to last one, the Greed Island arc, we don't really get much of Kurapika and Leorio. We got a little bit of Kurapika, but it's just the team is split up. I feel like they split apart this little team that we have right here, and I don't really like that. I really want them. I wanted them to stick together, but hey, it's just what we got. A lot of the arcs are really interesting. The beginning exam arc is really, really cool. I like the Heaven's Arena arc. That one was really nice too, where Killua and Gon kind of trained. What else? The Phantom Troop arc was really interesting as well. When I got to see that one, they were trying to find a way to follow Jean into this island called Greed Island. Gon and Killua were trying to find a way into it, so they found a way to actually find him, but it costs a lot of money to enter into that island, right? So the Phantom Troop were trying to take over the mob and everything, and the mob it had this auction where they can get access to this island, and they just need a lot of money, but they're stopped because Kurapika's past is intertwined with the Phantom Troop, and the Phantom Troop killed Kurapika's tribe, and now Kurapika's trying to find some revenge and kill all of them. It's just crazy. It's such a crazy arc. Greed Island is probably my favorite one. I really enjoy that one. You really get to see Gon and Killua grow, and it was just an interesting arc. Like it's a game, really. It's a game where people go in and you can live your life however you want to, and it's based off of like books, kind of like Rise of the Shield Hero almost. In the first couple, I think like 3-4 episodes, it kind of feels like that, honestly. And yeah, it's just a really good show. The last thing I can say about this, I would say the worst thing I can say about this show is probably the Ant arc. I did not like it just because of how long it was and how drawn out it was. I just didn't like. I wish, it was interesting. Don't get me wrong, but rewatching it, I'm just like, man, the Ant arc is so long, and it's like the characters are really cool. Kite is amazing. He's such a great character. It's just even the villains, they just seemed like it's just too long. They almost kind of lost track of like what they're trying to do, and they were just kind of making it up on the spot. It seemed like when you're first watching, you're like, damn, like this is crazy. And the final fight with Meruem and Netero, oh, that was crazy, dude. That was a crazy fight. It was just where he used the Bakvita or whatever, and he like slams him around with these golden hands. Really cool. It's hard to say bad stuff about this show because of how much I like it, but again, solid watch. If you really want to get into anime, I think this is a perfect show for you to get into. It's super light. First season is honestly really interesting. Good characters, good conflict, and then it just picks up. It just picks up from there. There's like a mini arc, I would say. There's like mini arcs with like the Zoldyck arc where they're trying to go into his, where they try to go to Killua's mansion, and then the ending as well where they're trying to save someone and they're using Killua's sister to help them out, and it's a small arc. I think it's like 20 or so episodes or something, but the Ant arc is crazy. It's like, I think it's like almost 40 or 50 episodes, but it's still pretty long. It's longer than it should have been. Yeah, I love it. I don't know what else to critique this show about except for some of the pacing. Some of the writing is kind of I don't really like that. Some of the side characters are kind of like whatever, I just knew it's gonna happen. Like it's an obvious trope that they're using with like power levels and like, oh, this guy seems hella bad, but he's actually not, and it's good writing, really good animation, good fighting, interesting storyline, interesting characters, lovable characters. If anything, I love these characters. Really cool world. I want them to dive more into this world. However, the manga is, I think, ending. There's only a little bit left, and not the owner, but the writer of this is struggling to write more because of his condition. He's just struggling to keep up with the demand of, of this storyline, and I think they ended it in a good way. You'd want more. You'll really want more from the show, and it's that type of show that I'd recommend you watch. If you want to get into anime, this is a really good beginner show. It's not hard to watch. I just have it in the background sometimes, and it's easy to remember the characters' names because they're like saying it constantly. It's easy to understand the power rankings, and yeah, it's just a really good show. I love it. I love this show to its fullest, and I honestly can say that you'll love it too. And if I can give the show a rating, if I can even give the show a rating, I'm gonna do something I don't like doing, and I'm gonna go decimal points. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. A 9.5 out of 10. I don't usually do that. I don't normally give half ratings, but this is so close to a perfect 10 that I have to give it a decimal, right? The reason why I didn't give it a 10 was mainly because of the fact that, again, the long arcs kind of, it gets a little confusing at first when you first watch it. They do their best to explain, but it does get a little confusing. And I would say that some of the writing is kind of like, all right, you know, I get it. This kid, I didn't like the writing at times just because of the fact that, like, they try to, or I guess not really writing, it's more the direction. They don't really try to include a lot of these characters that I think that would have been amazing to include. Like if Karabika at least was part of the Ant arc, or even Leorio, if he was even a part of it, where he faced some of the action and danger, like, bruh, that would have been great. That would have been amazing. But you know, there's stuff to explain why they weren't there. But you're kind of like, you have these characters that you've met and you actually like them. I like them. They're really cool characters, but you know, I wanted more. And I think that's what they did incorrectly, is not including the characters. It's not really the writing. It's just mainly the direction that they chose, that you're like, okay, what happened to these characters? Like, they're kind of included, but they're kind of not anymore. And you're like, damn. And then all of a sudden at the end, they're all back there again. You know, it's like you meet cool characters on throughout the entire journey, throughout the entire show. You meet amazing characters that, you know, do come back towards the end. But it's like, damn, like they made it seem very focused towards the beginning that these four were going to be the main characters. But spoiler alert, I guess they're not. I mean, you can watch it yourselves. It's been out for like, I think almost 10 years at this point. So it's not really a spoiler, but you know, and this is actually a remake. This is actually a remake from what I found out. I found this out a couple years ago that this is a remake from the 90s. I think, no, if anything, early 2000s. But that one was definitely a lot more slower. It wasn't as good in terms of, I would say, you know, animation, because it definitely, the old one definitely had that like 90s animation, you know, that a lot of people like, but not this newer style, you know. This is post Naruto, like this is post like all that stuff. So yeah, definitely newer for sure comparing the two. I have yet to watch that one. I'm really interested in watching it. But last thing I can say, please go watch the show. Please support it. Please ask for more from the writers. I really wish they return back and they give us more of this show, and they give us more of this content, even if it's in a different time. I would love more HunterXHunter, more content, more stuff about the world that they have. They hint to even more world out there in the show, and I'm like, damn, like I want more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want more of this show, and it just sucks that we can't get enough of it. We can't get any more of this show, and it's not no one's fault really, but it's like, man, you know, it's just such a good show that I really want more, you know. And I know that you guys will like it if you're anime fans, and if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. It's on Netflix right now. I think it's on Hulu as well, Crunchyroll if you got that. And that's it for me, guys. Honestly, enjoy. Next up is what to watch. Check it out.